The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us on this Tuesday. It's 5 a.m. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. Education news this morning. Members and supporters of the LGBTQ community spoke out in support of a local teacher at last night's Kern High School District Board meeting. The comments came after last month's tense meeting in which supporters of Olivia Garrison say they were verbally attacked, booed, and insulted by other attendees. Garrison has been in the headlines after giving an interview to the New York Times about helping students socially transition their gender at school while protecting their privacy from their parents. Trustees were taken to task last night by more than a dozen people who say they allowed adults to verbally attack children at last month's meeting. Dolores Huerta asked the board to not tolerate hateful comments.
We could not afford to create any more haters, any more neo-Nazis. Coming to board meetings and attacking students because they're LGBTQ or transgender, this is really, really harmful, and it's really against everything that the board is supposed to do to protect students.
A union representative from the California Teachers Association also spoke out against the board. 17's Marco Torres will have more on this story tonight on 17 News at 5.
Parents and students at Highland High School were on edge yesterday after shooting threats circulated on Instagram. But an investigation found the threats were directed at a Highland High School in Palmdale. Bakersfield police say they've seen an increase in these types of incidents. Officers say those who make the threats do it through social media because they believe they'll remain anonymous. But police say they can still find those people making the posts.
Time and time again, we have arrested juvenile offenders who had no idea that we could figure out who they were. So that factors in definitely in the increase in these kind of threats via social media. Ultimately, it places parents and students in fear. It impacts their ability to obtain the education that they need and are going to school for. And it's just one more thing to kind of reignite some of that trauma for individuals that may have experienced violent incidents like that in the past.
The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office confirmed to the BPD that the suspect who made the threat in Palmdale has been taken into custody.
Your time now is 5:05. In your 17 Crime Watch, thieves and vandals have prompted county officials to close part of a local park, calling it a public health and safety threat. The bathrooms at Virginia Park in southeast Bakersfield will likely remain closed until they're completely rebuilt, according to County Administrative Officer Ryan Alsop. He says every part of the bathroom was damaged and maintenance and cleaning supplies were stolen. Over the last few months, officials say park bathrooms have been vandalized 14 times, and the county has spent $29,000 for repairs.
A dangerous social media trend has led to the arrest of 3 Bakersfield teenagers. Police say they got a call on Sunday about someone stealing a car in a neighborhood near Newstein Road and Bell Terrace. Officers say the teens broke into a car but took off in another stolen vehicle. Around 5 hours later, officers found the stolen car near Rosedale Highway and Verdugo Lane. 2 14-year-olds and a 15-year-old were arrested. Police say this theft is similar to social media trends in which young kids target Kias and Hyundais for theft and reckless driving. Meantime, a woman is facing charges after firing a gun in the parking structure at 18th and I Street in downtown Bakersfield. It happened just before noon last Friday. Bakersfield police say 30-year-old Angela Vasquez shot at the ground during a fight with 2 men, and that several bystanders were nearby when it happened. No one was hit. Police say the men ran off, and the unregistered handgun was recovered.
4 Bakersfield firefighters are in our nation's capital, lobbying on behalf of our hometown department. The International Association of Firefighters, which represents more than 3,000 members, is holding its legislative conference this week. They are rallying against forever chemicals in their gear and fighting for a $1.5 million grant for new equipment. The Association of Firefighters was the first major labor union to endorse President Biden's candidacy in 2020. They plan to rally at the Capitol today to urge Congress to implement more safety protections.
5:14 is your time now and making headlines around the world this morning. The FBI is asking for the public's help and offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the return of 4 Americans who were kidnapped at gunpoint in Mexico last Friday.
U.S. officials say they went to Mexico seeking a medical procedure. NBC's Drew Petrimo has more.
Video spreading on social media shows the terrifying moments when 4 Americans were kidnapped at gunpoint. You can see a woman being forced into the bed of a pickup truck. Others are dragged to the truck by men wearing bulletproof vests, some of them heavily armed.
The FBI is working very closely with Mexican counterparts in an effort to safely recover these Americans.
It happened in the Mexican city of Matamoros, just across the border from Brownsville, Texas. Family members say the 4 Americans are from South Carolina and were traveling to Mexico for a cosmetic surgery procedure. They were driving in a white minivan when the gunman opened fire and then abducted them. Authorities say a Mexican citizen was killed during the attack.
Well, if you go back 10, 15 years, Matamoros actually used to be a place where American youth would go for spring break, and they'd combine it with a trip to South Padre Island, Texas. But it's devolved over the years to the point now where there is increasing drug-related violence, criminal organizations seeking to kidnap for ransom.
The FBI now offering a $50,000 reward for the American safe return as U.S. law enforcement and intelligence agencies work to find them.
The best case scenario here is that there's communication eventually with bad guys and who will be given a rationale to give these people up. You didn't want Americans, you've got them. It's the world's attention on you. There's a world of hurt coming to you if you don't release them safely.
The White House promising to bring those responsible to justice and offering support for the families of the victims. Now, this region in Mexico has been the site of a violent struggle between warring factions of the Gulf drug cartel. As a result, it's been under a level 4 travel advisory from the State Department, meaning Americans should not go there. Drew Petrimo, NBC News, Washington.
SoCal Gas held a virtual forum yesterday to hear from the public, and dozens of customers attended the meeting for several hours to voice their complaints. It's the first of 2 virtual public hearings to get opinions from customers on rate hikes before the California Public Utilities Commission approves or denies the proposal. SoCal Gas says it needs the money to upgrade infrastructure, but some customers claim SoCal Gas executives are collecting high salaries while gouging their customers.
I'd like to know what these people make for a living, because I am telling you they're being compensated well above market rate. This is a monopoly in violation of numerous antitrust laws. If I want gas from some other supplier, I have no place to go.
If the increase is approved, the gas company says bills for the average household would go up about 13% next year. Hundreds of people turned out at the state capitol yesterday to take part in the annual March for Life rally. The march comes less than a year after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, leaving it up to states to decide abortion laws, and just months after California voters overwhelmingly approved Prop 1, which guarantees the right to abortion and contraception as part of the state constitution. Organizers say they hope people left the rally energized and ready to talk to their legislators and take more action.
Governor Gavin Newsom, meantime, is slamming Walgreens over its decision to not distribute abortion medication. In a tweet yesterday, the governor said California won't be doing business with Walgreens or any company that cowers to the extremists and puts women's lives at risk. We're done. Last month, Republican attorney generals in 20 states threatened legal action against Walgreens and CVS if they dispensed the abortion pill. The drugstore responded saying it would not sell the pill in their stores. Among them are Kentucky, Texas, and Mississippi, where abortion is illegal. But Walgreens said it would also not sell pills in states where abortion remains legal, like Alaska, Florida, Iowa, and Montana.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.